this is an art form that a lot of people are not really taking advantage of. A lot of people aren't really giving a process really a thorough thought as they go through it. And so when you do that and you don't have the stuff that you need in preparation for this process, it's going to fail. A lot of times I see agents go through everything that they're going through, and it's unnecessary. Okay, it's unnecessary because if you just take a little bit of time to get these things done, work with your teammates, work with the team, it will make it so much easier for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I see just a handful of people here for getting your offer accepted like a boss. Oh, we got Eric joining us as well. So great, this is awesome. So let's get started, okay? So here's the thing, okay? This may seem a little bit redundant. It may seem kind of counterintuitive with some of these things, but it's very, very important that we understand the steps to success and the tools needed to succeed. It may sound like, okay, well, this is kind of a foregone conclusion, Herb. You guys would be surprised. You'd be surprised with some of the stuff that we hear here at the office, some of the things that people don't have. And it's very, very important that we start to utilize the tools needed to succeed. And it may sound kind of crazy, but yeah, in order to get this process to work, you need a buyer, right? You need to find somebody that's interested in buying, right? And today isn't that. Today isn't the training where we're going to go into finding out, okay, how do you get a buyer? Now, this training assumes that you've done that work already. This training assumes that you are now beyond needing to find a buyer. This is now the next step, the level that we need it to be, right? You're now going in trying to make sure that you open the escrow, okay? So now the number one, the natural thing is, okay, you have someone that's interested in transacting. Get together with your prime rate lending solutions team. That is the number one, okay? Make sure that you're there with the prime rate lending solutions team, that you paired up with a loan officer that works here, specifically here, because the operative thing is going to be if you don't have the access to the financials like you will here, it's going to set you back and it's going to put you at a disadvantage when you're competing. Remember, the main thing that we're going to go through is a competition, specifically where we're at today. Remember what we talked about yesterday. Our expectations are high. No more flying under the radar. We're not in the little office in Pico Rivera anymore. Now we are in a 4,200 square foot building. We're in a location that is, I've been told, it looks like a monument in Downey. And the reason that this is all important is that now we've come to the big leagues. Okay, so you're going to be competing with the big leaguers here on the street, and that's not something that should concern you. It shouldn't worry you. If anything, should make you level your game up. So take every single advantage that you have. Work with your teammate, your loan officer closely. Okay, this is important. The better the relationship that you have with your lender, the more likely you are to succeed. Okay. And that's something that I really want everybody to really take heed to. All right. So this is very, very important. You have to have access to the MLS, guys. All right. Some of you, I get it. Sometimes, times are tough, and I understand that. I really do. However, it's kind of like going to school without your pencil and a notebook. Okay, you have to be able to, if we're going to be in this business, be able to communicate effectively with clients. And the only way we can effectively communicate is to have access to the MLS and be able to use the MLS, okay, which we'll go into in a minute. We need to have a computer, okay? We need to have a computer simply because a lot of you are trying to do this on your phone. And you're not going to be as efficient at doing these things if you have everything on your phone. You're not going to be able to set up your financial packages. You're not going to be able to tie everything in with your offers. Sure, you can write offers from there. Sure, you can go ahead and use the CRMLS on there. All those things are all true. However, if you're not set up with a computer, you know, with the right tools, you're going to fail. And I put this again, make sure you have access to the MLS. It's not a typo. Make sure you have access to the MLS. I've seen people try to use Zillow, okay? And for those of you that this kind of sounds crazy to, try running an office with almost 40 people in it, okay? You'll be surprised. So it may sound redundant, but I just need to make sure that we all understand the tools needed to succeed. You have to have your car forms and you have access to them on your phone as well, but you need to make sure you set it up on your desktop, and you need to make sure that you go in there and set up your templates. So that way it isn't so excruciating, it isn't so difficult for you to send 2, 3, 4 offers for each client, because remember, it's the law of large numbers. We want to try to make sure that we send as many offers as possible and see what catches, right? And then at that point, the client has some options, and we're going to go through that as well. The PR lending financial package. I'm going to show you guys at the end. We're going to run through a couple of quick things that I really that are going to be important to your success. And the main one is to make sure that you have everything that an agent could potentially ask you for before he asks you for it. What a concept, right? What if I know the answers to the test and I present myself in a very professional manner? Make sure you have those things together. And I meant to say a smartphone, but yes, try to have a smartphone for these as well. So that way you can have templated responses to listing agents, requests. This follow-up boss is great for all that. And I know that may sound a little tedious to do, but quite honestly, if you're already typing in their phone number into your iPhone or smartphone, Android, whatever, it's probably going to take you just 2 more seconds to put it into follow-up boss, because the great thing about follow-up boss is you have templated ways to respond, to send showing requests, to go ahead and get everything out there and going. The reason that that's important is you can also track and see when they're opening this stuff. Make sure you have DocuSign. This is now where we're getting more serious, okay? With DocuSign, if you link it up to your car forms, you literally are saving yourself 15 to 20 minutes per offer, because now it links up, it templates everything for you, and it fires it off. You don't have to do one additional step. As long as you've done the work in advance, you're going to have these offers fly out, and you're not going to have to stress with it so much, okay? And lastly, yes, use your PLF for primary. Well, we're writing offers, so use your PLF email, guys. Again, it is a professional presentation. It is a total package, right? Think of yourself as a serious business person. A serious business person isn't using their @Gmail or @Yahoo accounts anymore. They're going and presenting themselves corporate. Remember, it's a complete package, everybody. From head to toe, every single thing has to be perfect, all right? think about the first impression you're making to this other person. You have a buyer's agent and a listing agent. The minute that that listing agent chooses you, their commission is intertwined with your efforts and the one that in the efforts of that buyer, the efforts of that loan officer. That listing agent is taking a chance on picking you. This is why all this stuff, even though it may sound redundant, has to be on point. You have to have it ready. The tools are important for you to succeed. So have a good computer, not one that's from the 80s, that's going to take forever to and bog you down, right? Have access to the MLS, work together with your loan officer, so that way you can set yourself up for success. All this stuff, most of you already have, but this is how important this stuff is. If it's not set up, it's going to take you time. It's going to create delays. It's going to drive you crazy. And then, you may make mistakes when you're writing these offers, which really don't need to happen. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. So, next thing, most important, is communication, everybody. Make sure that you communicate with the listing agent. It sounds crazy, right? You see that go direct sign on the bottom, you're like, oh, this is awesome. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to talk to the other person now. I could just go show it, go on about my day. Well, think about it. What would change if you had that conversation in advance? Hey, Michael, that's Michael Berdalis. That's the dude who owns the building across the street. Hey, Michael, it's Herb. How are you? I wanted to reach out to you and see if you had any offers on your listing on 123 Main Street. Oh, no. Yes, I do. Yeah, whatever. Okay. You can go in and begin to build that rapport. Someone like Michael Berdalis, and we're just using him as an example because I use him as a punching bag all the time. Someone like this is so busy, he probably won't answer you. He try text. No response. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get a video message going.
Good morning, this is Herb Diaz with PLF Real Estate Solutions. I just wanted to reach out to you. I know that we haven't been able to connect on the phone. I wanted to schedule an appointment to show 123 Main Street in Downey, California. It's a beautiful property. My client, Michael Silva, is very interested in the property. When you get a moment, do me a favor and give me a call. I'd love to go ahead and schedule it. And then I would also like to go ahead and see what the homeowner is hoping for. Maybe we can put something together. I have a great lender, Sarah Martinez, and I can go ahead and have her connect with you as well. So that way you can see that we can close quickly. We already have a full financial package. We just need the home. So when you get a moment, do me a favor, reach back out to me, okay? Thank you.
Out of the 60 motherfuckers that reach out to Michael Berdalis, who's going to stand right at the very top with something like this? You. This is what we're talking about here, guys. I want to make sure that I'm doing this. I'm trying to leave an impression on you, right? I want all of you to understand that this is going to take just a couple extra steps of preparation, but it's very, very easy for us to pull off, okay? And it's going to be something that it's going to make your life easier. You're going to open escrows more quickly, and you're going to build a network of positive relationships with your real estate community. And then here's the other thing. When you go into it, what's going to happen when you go to your client? Let's say, okay, my client Juan, he really loves 123 Main Street in Downey, California. Hey, you go to the show and it says go direct, but you come in and you have the information that he seeks. Hey, my goodness, what's going on with the area? What's going on with this and that and the other? All this normal stuff that I hope that you guys already prepared for, right? You need to know about the house before you show up. But now you have the details on what the homeowner is looking for. Now you have the details on what kind of interest they're receiving in the property in advance of any showings, in advance of any offers. So And from there, you can set up the right expectation from your client, which is probably just as important as anything else. Now you've reached out to the listing agent, you've left a positive impression, and you've improved your odds from 20, 30 offers. You're going to begin to move up in the cream of the crop. So that's very, very important. So this is why communication is important. And communication, guys, is important through the entire process. And I'm not talking about sending a text. Okay, I'm talking about actual tangible communication. I send those videos not because I'm, I love looking at myself on screen. It's because I'm trying to get engagement from the other person. Okay, and that's what we all have to do. Whatever which way you find works best for you. Unfortunately, we work in an industry where it's not as easy to engage in communication because everybody is so busy, especially a top producer like this. Try to do everything you can to stay top of mind. All right. Okay. So here we go. Before you show, prepare yourself. Number one, from your prime rate lender. So now you're reaching out to Miss Martinez, right? And Miss Martinez is there. She's already gone in with you. She's already met with the client. You haven't shown, maybe you've shown them one or two properties just because you wanted to meet them, but now you're not ready to write offers. So now you've had the client meet with Miss Martinez, and you have your financial package, okay? What is the financial package? Well, I'm going to show you a sample one at the end, but we need a pre-approval letter from the loan officer to the community that this is a pre-approved client and that they're ready to go. DU or LP, okay? That's basically, an acronyms for desktop underwriter or loan prospector. One is a Fannie Mae product, the other is a Freddie Mac product, okay? Those are the general consensus for conditions for a loan approval. So it sets up what they're probably going to need. So that's why listing agents are so interested in seeing, okay, what kind of conditions this buyer is going to need in order to go ahead and close on this home. And it gives the approved eligible, and it gives a system approval. To go through the main mortgage loan programs, conventional FHA, you're going to need a automated underwriting system approval. That's what these are, DU and LP, okay? So that's why they want to make sure that you have one in advance, because the credit is the credit. However, I've seen people with credit scores that qualify that have shitty credit based on previous history. They may have the scores at 620 that are enough to qualify. However, the systems won't like the credit because there's a history of bad behavior with making payments or missing payments or having charge-offs, things like that, right? Things that, we don't need to get into because you guys are not going to be doing loans. The point of it is, if you don't have that DU or LP, that person is disqualified in the listing agent's mind. So that's why it's so important. So make sure that you're working with a prime rate lender, number one. Number two, if for some odd, crazy reason you can't, this is a must to get from that loan officer. And if they don't give it to you, that's a very, very bad sign. Number three, make sure that that your financial package has the proof of funds, okay? It's very easy to point the fingers to the lender, okay, and say, hey, where's the financial package, this and the other. Don't forget that you are the face of the real estate transaction. And because you are the face of the real estate transaction, as the realtor, it doesn't matter if, the lender forget, they're not going to forget here. We're going to give it to you. But you want to make sure that if it's not in there, you're asking for it. And then don't hesitate to ask the client for it if it's missing, okay? You're going to get it from us, but just make sure that you have your checklist to make sure. Pre-approval, check. DU or LP, check. Proof of funds, check. And of course, a FICO score disclosure page. This should be automatic from a lender. Just make sure it's in there. It is written into DU or LP. However, as you may all know, listing agents already have their mindset as what their expectations of a package are. Make sure it's just in there to make it easier. Let's take the approach of let's get to yes on these offers. Don't take an adversarial approach with a listing agent. Think about that. Before you even go show, if you're making these appointments, you want to have all these things. You get yourself together. One of these things is missing, and you have a competition for the property, and you go submit your offer, and yours looks unprepared. There's something missing, or you're even adversarial. It's like, oh well, the FICO scores are in the DU. You're good. No, remember, it's the impression that you're leaving on the other listing agent. You are selling yourself to this person, because remember, I'm going to say it again, the commission that's being earned is now intertwined together. Your guys' success depends on each other. So if I'm a listing agent and I'm looking at offers from Blanca, Giancarlo, and Pat, and I'm seeing these, and Pat's is all good and Blanca's is all good, but Giancarlo's only got the approval letter, I'm going to say, hey, Giancarlo, what's going on with you? It's like, oh, you know what? Fuck you, Herb. It's right there. Call Sarah. She'll tell you he's approved. I'm probably not going to work with Giancarlo if that's in that scenario. So that's why you want to present yourself as the most professional, most detail-oriented realtor, so that way you can make that good impression and the listing agent can comfortably rely on your offer, okay? The next thing is a cover letter, okay? A cover letter is not a physical cover letter, right? It's not a letter anymore where you're gonna write a letter to the a seller from the buyer, because now we have equal housing violations, and now it's not legal necessarily. I think you can write a letter. You just cannot give any indication as to anybody's race, gender, religion, etc. So, but anyways, you want to write your own cover letter. You're writing your cover letter to go ahead and further make an impression on this listing agent, okay? You want to pull all the stops, and you want to copy your prime rate lender on this email, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to, she's not going to know that the offer went out. And then how will she communicate on her end with this listing agent, okay? Next, to make your life easier, before you show, template your offers in car forms. The easiest thing you can do is go in there, input the data of the person, input the data of their email, make sure your DocuSign's linked up, okay? And then that way, all you have to do is go into the MLS, get the MLS numbers of the properties you showed, and fire off offers. This process should only take you 2 to 5 minutes, okay? Link, pre-input the data into car forms to send an offer, link car forms to DocuSign, and here's another one. Work within your MLS to put the listings that you showed for the day in a cart. That way you're not typing and shuffling through the multiple listing service. You're saving yourself time. You have dinner plans at 6, you get home at 5 o'clock. This entire process to send 4 to 5 offers for your client to sign should only take about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? And I'm gonna show you guys that at the end. Why? Because you've done the work in advance. You have your financial package ready. You've created a folder on a desktop with that financial package ready to go, okay? You got your carts on the MLS, in your MLS. You've shown these properties, great. You've shown them. Now you know which ones the client likes. Awesome. At most, it's going to take you a minute per offer that you write to send a video message letting them know, hey, this has gone out. It doesn't take this long, drawn out conversation to do that. So you have everything you got. What's next? You go show the properties. This is all the work you've done in advance of showing the properties. Now you go show the properties and okay, you set yourself up. We're going Saturday. We're going to start at 10. We're going to see 15 properties. No, you don't want to wear down the client because they're after about 4 to 5, they start to lose touch with the first one that they saw unless they feel like that's the one they want to offer on. They start to have mental fatigue. You start to lose them. And then on top of that, they're not going to want to sign the offer later. It's going to delay you. So try to limit the showings to 4 to 5. And then that way you don't get the mental fatigue. Then before, as you're showing, and as obviously as you've had the conversations with the client already, make sure you've already determined a client's wants and needs and choose at least 1 to 2 properties of these 4 to 5 that you're showing that have been on the market for an extended period. I'll tell you guys, one of the biggest mistakes most realtors make is just simply saying, okay, John, my buyer, wants to see 5 properties. He wants to see these 5. All of them are brand new on the market. Well, yeah, you're now competing with every single realtor in the city for those same exact listings. You may or may not win, but you're not giving yourself a chance. However, if we go ahead and do a mixed bag and say, hey, this go around, we're going to show these 3 that you're interested in. The other 2, we'll go ahead and show tomorrow, or let's go ahead and put those on the back burner for whatever. But let's take a look at this one, and if possible, a second one that is very similar to the ones that you like, but just has been on the market for a little bit longer. And that could be due to overpricing. That could be due to a wide variety of different reasons, right? A tenant, etc. But it sets you up to beat out the competition. One of the reasons most realtors end up losing clients is because they can never win the battle for or the competition for the property. So what ends up happening with that is the client begins to see like, well, is there something wrong with my realtor? Why am I sending so many offers and none of them are getting accepted? Well, if you're competing with the masses for every single house, you're not setting yourself up for success. So make sure you try to do that. Try to add 1 to 2 that have been on the market for an extended period and try to see how that will work for you. Number 2, encourage your client to write offers on all properties of interest. If they like 2 of the 5, write 2. If they like 3, write 3. If they liked all 5, write 5. Increase your odds of getting an accepted offer, okay? For each property, immediately contact each agent to provide positive feedback and determine current interest in property from the marketplace. This is very important, everybody, because if you don't do that, how would you write your offers effectively? If you have something that's been sitting on the market for 3 weeks, in this market, 3 weeks is a long time, and it's got no offers, you're not going to go above asking, right? So make sure you communicate with them. Of course, sometimes they're going to fib. You're going to gauge that, and you're going to have to work within a client's budget and their wants and needs too. But all things equal, let's say it's been on the market 2 days and you're going to review offers on the 4th. Yeah, you probably really, really want to communicate with that agent. Like we were discussing in the previous slides. Stay top of mind. Make sure you communicate. Now you're coming back on the go around and you're coming in and saying, okay, Michael, thank you so much for allowing me to show the property. It's a fantastic property. You guys have done a great job marketing it. I wanted to let you know my client loves it, what do we have to do to get this property into escrow? I want to try to see if I could get it in today. Of course, it's going to tell you no, right? But the main thing is, if you don't communicate this, if you just send the offer, first of all, one of the biggest things that ends up happening, that offer can get lost in someone's email, especially if it's somebody professional like Herb Diaz. You're not the only person they talk to, right? I hate to break it to you. So if they're sending their offer in and they don't know and they don't receive it, whose fault is that? However, if you communicate and you get the feedback and they understand that it's coming and you set the tempo for this, now you're going to be again top of mind. And if there's 20 offers, but you've done this work, the competition isn't going to be with 20 offers. The competition is going to be between you and the other 2 or 3 professional realtors that have made sure that maintain contact with that agent and stay top of mind and are providing a complete package, so that way that this listing agent can comfortably feel that they're going to be able to close this deal with you. Okay. And that's really what matters, guys. That's really what matters in all of this, that the seller gets their money, that the buyer gets their house, and both you and the listing agent get your commissions. That's the perfect scenario, because at that point you fulfilled all needs, right? So, and remember, we're not talking about inspections, we're not talking about appraisals, we're not talking about all of that. Right now, we're simply talking about getting an offer accepted. Obviously, there's more that goes into this, right? But we're talking about the sales part of this. You have to appeal not just to the buyer, you have to appeal to the competing realtor. Well, maybe not the competing, but the listing agent, right? They're going to be in bed with you on this. So here's a timeline of events, everybody. Get all of the necessary tools together so that you can have an efficient, effective, and enjoyable experience, because it is enjoyable. When you have this all done and you have it teed up, you set yourself up to succeed. Then it's not work. You're out there and your main thing is you're building rapport with your client, you're having some laughs, you're having conversations with listing agents. Think about, if you do this effectively, you're growing a network within your community of real estate. Oh my God, this dude, Giancarlo, he's so professional. Every time he calls me, I know that it's going to be something positive. Now you're more focused on the actual part that makes you money. You're building relationships. That's what makes you money, everybody. Okay. If you're focused, oh shit, I have dinner at 6 with my family. I bet I'm going to be home at 5. I got to get these offers out or else I'm going to look unprofessional. Oh my God, the fucking offer deadline's at 7. Oh shit. Oh, it's a disaster. And guess what ends up happening? You don't get the offer. You wasted your time, effort, and money because it costs you money to go show houses every single time. Every single time. So avoid all that at all costs. Make sure that, like we said yesterday, you have a respect for your profession, that you have respect for the money that it costs. It's respect for the money that you're going to earn. Because if you disrespect this process, it's going to reflect in your bank account, guaranteed. Number 2, communicate, communicate, communicate. You can never go wrong with communicating. You have to let them know in advance, I'm going to go see the property. This is what I'm going for. What does your client want? I saw the property. You did a great job marketing it. I love how you staged it. Build up a rapport with this person that's selling the property. What is your seller looking for? Well, how can I make sure I stand out and provide your seller with what they want? Perfect. Input all the necessary data into car firms and obtain financial package from PR lender. So that way you have everything ready for show properties and sell. Okay. And then it always comes back to communication, because number 2 is really going through this entire timeline. And lastly, you're writing the offers. but the offers are pretty much done at this point. Like you're now, if you have this in queue, you get home at 5. And I'm going to go through exactly how it should go, how quickly that will be. All right. So we'll go to the next slide. And we'll go into the process, but now we're going to jump ahead a little bit. And what happens after you submitted the offer? Immediately call. Immediately reach out to this listing agent and say, now your offer is in. And hey, you know what? We want to go ahead and get a turnaround or response. I appreciate you taking my call. Great. After you've spoken to them, send a video message. Hey, Michael, I just wanted to thank you again for taking my call. I appreciate you. My client, Michael Silva, is very, very interested in the property. It's close by his compadre's house and his family, and they're looking to make sure that they stay close. I appreciate you keeping me in the loop and in mind with any responses. Take care. This stuff doesn't, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Some of you guys I see are making your videos out there and it takes you hours to get a 10-second clip. Just be candid, look into the camera, shoot. And that way you're not stuck there forever. Okay. Make sure that if they don't answer, you send the video message letting them know that you sent the offer, because they're probably within their it's within their business model that they don't answer texts or they don't answer phone calls for whatever reason. That's a lack of professionalism on them, but you want to, again, stay top of mind.
Good evening, Anthony. This is Herb Diaz with PLF Real Estate Solutions. It's a late night here at the office, and I just wanted to let you know I sent over an offer for your listing there on 119th Street for Michael Silva. It's for a duplex property. He absolutely loved it. He visited your open house on Saturday and fell in love with the property. He's very well qualified, putting 25% down, going above asking by $25,000. He's got good FICO scores, been at his job for a long time. So I know that we can put this together for your seller. I know that you're requesting a time to search for a replacement home. We'll be able to work that out, no problem. So I look forward to trying to put this deal together with you. So hopefully we can get that done. Hope all is well with you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Again, communication, 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 communication. Through the entire process, you've communicated, you submitted the offer. And of course, you don't want to burn out an agent, right? You like, dude, fucking Herb calls me every 5 minutes about this house. He's only seen it once, but it's a buildup. Steadily reach out, think, feedback, offer submission 4 times. And then follow up as you deem necessary to make sure that you're top of mind. Don't get lost in the sauce, because some houses, I should say, will go for, will be hot properties and 25, 30 offers. You might get lost in the sauce. So follow up as you deem necessary. And then as a piece, as a last piece, as you're going through the escrow, so that way you can build a positive experience with your realtor community, follow through with the promised experience. If you wrote a 21-day offer, make sure it closes in 21 days. Stay on top of your lender. Make sure that you're helpful. A lot of agents will just set it and forget it. Look, here at PLF and Prime Rate Lending, we have great systems. Doesn't mean, okay, fuck, now let go of the handles on the bicycle, right? You're still the driver. Make sure you're following up with the team, touching base with the lender, anything that you can facilitate. Don't forget that you're still getting paid the most here, right? It's indicative of what your job description is, to stay in touch. Make sure you're communicating with your client now. Make sure you communicate with your with the listing agent. Make sure that everything's going through. So as you do that and you create a professional experience, guess what? You come back around, Giancarlo comes back around and is now submitting offers with Verdelis. Dude, this guy's fucking serious right now. This guy's trying to get it done. And it will work. It will get you more business, okay?
Good evening.
Oops. Okay. So that's my end of my PowerPoint. So now I want to go through things in sequence. Okay. First things first. Let's now go to, and I will close out of this, and I will bring a financial package together. So this is one that I put together for my client, right? Alejandro in Siena Tinoco. Starts off with the pre-approval, and difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval is nothing. However, most people think it means something else. So make sure it says pre-approved, because for some reason they think it means something else, but whatever. Anyways, so this is the pre-approval letter, gives specific details, has licensing information, contact information, et cetera, okay? This is the DU, okay? You want this in your package, shows what kind of loan we're gonna do, breaks down possible eligibility issues, messages and approval conditions. Like this starts to break things down, goes into their credit, gives other details. This is why agents want to see this, right? Most of them can't read it, but at least you have it so that way they can rely on it, right? So let's see as we keep going. It gives more specific details, breaks down payments, what we can expect, et cetera, et cetera. Next, we got the FICO page. We got Siena's strong scores. We got her pops, okay scores. But now it's all there for there to review. We got the assets, how much we're going to be applying, 337,000. Okay, this is where we're getting this money. This is what's going to happen with this property. And so now we have a 16-page full financial package, head and shoulders, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and what the expectation is going to be for our buyer. And that way the listing agent can comfortably rely on what it is that they, what there is that they're going to be going into escrow with. So that's that. As you have this should be sitting on your desktop in a folder saying active buyers, right? And in a subfolder that says the name of the client. So that way you could just quickly go to it when you're attaching it to your offer, okay? So next thing. Let me close that. Any questions on the financial package? Okay, so close that. Now we're going to go into car forms. Okay, my dashboard. Let me move this over here, and I'm going to go to, let's see, transactions, and I'm going to go to Alejandro Tinoco. That's the one we've been working on. I'm going to make sure that I go to my summary, and I've got this filled out. I hit MLS Connect. I have the MLS number that's sitting here on my cart from the CRMLS. I just simply, I know which ones they liked. I make notes that I can put at side by side, offers, open it up, copy the MLS number, go in here, fire it off, find, import. Yes, now we have the offer. We go back up to it. We're clicking on this. Actually, first, we're going to go to parties and make sure that we input their information and put in their email addresses, save. So that way, before I go show, all this stuff is ready. Now I'm going to go to documents. I've already input my template into the form. I'm going to open it just to double check dates. Now everything is sitting here. Their names, my licensing. What else is there? The other agents' information is there. Okay. Correct date, April 19th, correct the dates. So I could look professional, right? Everything's in here. I submitted, I've put in the details already. I may need to make changes because they don't want to submit that offer at that price, 1.350. Okay. I changed the loan amount to fit what it is that it is. I go with my DU and check, and at 1.350, 85%, easy to change. 27, it's hold on. Easy to change. 1,147,500. Done. 85%. Don't need this. Don't need that. I'm going to leave all my contingencies. Everything's good. Everything's already been checked off. I've already set my template up. I've already put in the details that Nadia and the management team want me to go have. It's a regular sale. Do a quick scroll. Done. Hit e-sign. Hit next. Make sure that I check Herb, Sienna, and Alejandro. Emails are there. Close. Hit next. DocuSign is already being linked up. Comes up. It will ask me if I want to use a template. Apply. Done. I already could trust on that. Hit send. Boom. Done. Guys, that did not take more than a couple seconds. Okay. Now the client gets it.
Herb, can I stop you there real quick? So
Sure.
you link the DocuSign up to the, so you no longer have to go externally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Doing that work has now saved me a lot of time. A lot of time. Guess what? I am done. I've sent the offer. As I'm waiting for the offer to come back, right? I'm grabbing my phone and I'm going back to it, right? And I'm doing a quick video because I'm waiting. And I'm like, hi, Giancarlo, this is Herb Diaz with PLF Real Estate Solutions. I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that I have an offer coming for your listing at 123 Main Street in Downey, California. I'm very excited. My client, Alejandro Tinoco and Sienna Tinoco, absolutely love the property. They're working with Sarah Martinez, a very professional loan officer that I've been working with for years. She'll be reaching out to you as well. And if you should have any questions or concerns, please let me know. We want to make sure that we satisfy your entire need and knowledge to know that we are the correct buyers for the property. Thank you so much. That took me 35 seconds. Boom. I've done all of this now, right? I've gone in, I've prepped this up, waiting for this to come up. As that comes in, now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. And I'm going to go in and open up my email, which I'll drag here. You guys can see Google? You guys can see Google, right? Yeah, okay. Go into my email. I have my templated response. All ready to go. Right here for me to go ahead and make changes to. Boom. Let's do a quick copy, compose. I paste it. I've already set it up. It's Alex and Sienna. I changed it to whatever, Main Street. And I update this information, which shouldn't take me more than a couple seconds. I wait for the offer to come back. As it comes back, as you see it here in my inbox, it went out. It'll come back. I'll get it, attach it to the email. And as I attach it to the email, I will go ahead and go in and get the financial package, which I saved here. Boom. Financial package is done. Boom, boom. This entire process has taken me less than a few minutes, fired off my offer. And I sent and immediately send my video message to everyone. And I call. So now, guess what? I've made a very good impression on what I have I've made a very good impression on this listing agent, and I've improved my odds of getting the offer accepted, guys. So I think that's probably the main thing that I want everybody to focus on is this is not the detailed write the offer. This is get your offer accepted. As we go through the transaction, there's going to be different things that we're going to run into. We're going to run into inspection issues. We're going to run into personalities. We're going to run into whatever issues with the finances. I mean, it's real estate. It's going to be drama. But if we take this approach and we look to win the offer, get to yes, it's going to make it a much smoother transaction. It's going to help your client get into escrow faster. It's going to manage their expectations a lot better. And it's going to make sure that you get paid much more quickly. Does anybody have questions on anything I've mentioned? Perfect. So there's a lot to kind of digest with that. You know, for me lately, and obviously I have office help, I have Aaron's help, but you can set this up for yourself, right? Very easily, doesn't take much. You get someone pre-approved, you take that extra step. Hey, if you are too busy to do that, that means you got too much business, which I'm fucking happy for you. But as far as I see, I think that we all in this company have that extra time to come in once I get pre-approved, get my client pre-approved to take these steps, package everything up. Request is from my lender, and in that way it goes off and you don't have any bumps in the road, and you're able to efficiently get the deal open, win the contract, and then from there go through the motions as needed, right? But until then, to be honest with you guys, it's going to be incumbent of you to set yourself up, really. So again, all the hard work goes in preparation. This is something that's big in sports, right? The hard work is done in practice. Well, the hard work is done prior to you even going to do the show. So, last call for questions. Great. This training will be on the YouTube page if you should need to refer back to it. So I'll go ahead and disconnect here. If you guys need me, I will be here all day. All right. Talk to you guys soon.